Welcome back to Burnley. We've got two arguably must-win games today. We've got relegation 6-pointers against the two sides who haven't got a single point yet in the Premier League table. It's Sheffield United and Fulham. We've got to win these games. Can we live up to the task? As a bit of a recap, last time out, we lost both games. We got hammered by West Ham, who are flying really high, and then we lost a relatively competitive close one, 2-1, against Manchester United. So we're not coming into this in the best of form, but you can see the kind of form that Fulham are in right now. You can see the kind of form that Lucas Moura is in. He's doing his best for them after turning us down. But they are not in a good state of affairs at the minute. Neither are Sheffield. Why is saying Jay Rodriguez? It's fine. I saw Victor's name and I was worried, but it's a completely disposable veteran. So we have been struggling for form a bit recently. Is worth saying. After winning our opening game of the season, we have lost against Arsenal, West Ham, Man United in the league. Not the easiest run of games. In all fairness, you've got two teams that are towards the top of the table and supposed to be, and you've got one team that's towards the top of the table and isn't supposed to be. So I'm not too worried. A 2-2 draw against Bournemouth in the middle of that. We don't really care about the League Cup. But these two games, if we're losing these games, I am worried. So we are sticking with the 4-4-2 system for now, but we are shifting it to a slightly more aggressive wing play tactic. We've got Zahavi and Teller, I think, will continue to play down the flanks. They played okay last game against Man United, and we're going to let Gomez and Livramento help provide width and play into their strengths. We've got options to change things off the bench. We've got Oscar. We've got, Dendoncker could come on and strengthen the midfield. So there are alternatives there. We could even go to a back three. We've got Ekdal. It's not bad. In terms of the tactic, I'm going to give us a little bit more freedom, and I'm going to go slightly higher tempo. Well, not necessarily higher tempo. I think lower tempo, but when we go more direct. I think that works better for us. So we're picking our moments. But when we do, we go. I want us to attack quite wide and stretch the pitch. I'm not too worried about working the ball into the box because we're going to be trying to play quite direct. And we've got a pretty big set of strikers there. We've got a good system to counter-press out of, and I think we're going to do that. We're going to try and get on the front foot against these, on paper, weaker teams. We obviously look to counter-attack. But we're still going to... I'm going to take off drop-off more. I'm not sure whether to press them or not, to be perfectly blunt. So we're going to leave it somewhere in the middle and see how things are going. We're going to try and funnel them to the outside and keep quite compact defensively and see how it goes. Maybe we should just go positive out of the gate. I think maybe we should. I feel like, these type of games, you have to be a bit more positive. You don't want to let them settle in the game. This is the lineup that we're going to go with. So ignore all these green ratings because that's all a bit of an illusion. No one's playing well. Don't let them fool you. So we're going to go with this. Teller and Zahavi on the wings. Vladislav and Cullen in the middle. Lots of energy, and Cullen can actually play as a bit of a playmaker. Maybe I just put him as a ball. I might just put him as a ball winner. Then we've got the wing backs. I think are a real weapon today. Sheffield normally play a 5 at the back system, So the idea of this is that you're always going to get a bit of an overload, because in attack you're going to end up like this, really. In which case we should probably make Kresish Ladislav a bit more defensive, and we do that. And then I think that should hopefully give us the solidity in these defensive areas, because otherwise we could be leaving Keenan Bayer too exposed. But because Sheffield United play that 5 at the back, we're essentially going to use our wingers to drag their wing backs inside and backwards, and then our 2 wing backs can overlap and hopefully really hurt them. Sheffield United haven't had a shot. We're 1-0 up and we're on the attack again. Weghorst holding the ball up, back to Bayer. Ladislav slips it to Weghorst. There's the overlap that I was talking about. Livramento into Weghorst, and it's just saved by Foderingham. But this system so far is causing Sheffield United a lot of problems. Set piece whipped in again. They are pretty good aerially and they deal with it. But encouraging start, really encouraging start. I'd love us to get a second goal before half time, just to give us a little bit of wriggle room for error. It's launched in and Victor's there at the back post. Livramento's cross in. Victor Gyökeres with his second goal in 2 games. He's hitting form. His second goal of the season. But he's hitting form. It's a good first time cross. Gyökeres is backpedaling but gets to it. It's poor from, I think it's their right-sided centre-back, Basham, or maybe Baldock had been dragged back into the position there. Sheffield United not had a shot. Do we go for the throat or do we try and calm things down, as somehow they've got a penalty? That's very annoying. They are going to check it. It did just look weird, and normally, yeah, Livramento commits handball, and out of nothing, Sheffield United have a way back into the match. They haven't had a shot yet, but Sander Berge scores the penalty, and it's 2-1 just before half-time. That's just an annoying, really annoying goal to concede. They hadn't created a thing, and we've just made a silly mistake at the back. Half-time, it's 2-1. If we check the analytical data, we can see that they are relatively deep. I should probably look at the right team, that'll help. You can see we're actually relatively deep and getting less of the ball, but we're doing a lot more with it when we get it. There might be a way to change that. Zahawi is playing poorly. What I might do is bring Oscar on, and Oscar can play as a bit of a playmaker who slots in and just helps our midfield 2 out and helps us retain possession that little bit more. I'm going to do that. It's a bit harsh on Zahawi because we haven't actually played badly. This is a purely tactical switch. So then Livramento will put on support, Gomez will stay on attack, wide playmaker. And if we set the player instructions, sit narrower, yeah, wonderful. So Oscar now will float in these spaces, and it will give Cullen and Ladislav, the guy that I cannot say the name of whatsoever, just a little bit more support in there, and that will hopefully help us retain possession that little bit more easily. I've praised them, and I've probably praised them too much. I really hope we don't get complacent here. We've got a corner. Gomez whipped in, and Wout Weghorst is there. We have torn them apart at set pieces so far today. Second goal that comes from it, and there's the big man, gets his big head on it, and it's 3-1. And I'm beginning to feel a bit more relaxed now. Beginning to feel like, oh, we might be okay. We might be okay. It's that or Sheffield United really are that bad. Judging by real life, it probably is the latter, to be fair. I did feel a bit sorry for Paul Heckingbottom at the weekend, given that Sheffield United actually didn't do that badly against Liverpool. They gave him a really good fight and only lost 2-0. It was a last-minute second goal. It's just a bit embarrassing when you see a team actually stand up and fight the moment the manager's gone. So, yeah, I do feel for Heckingbottom. I don't think Wilder's going to keep him up, to be honest. They're just not very good, and that club's weird. But that weird club is on the attack here. Robinson stepping in, across to Berg. They've worked it really well, and Pussetto was standing offside and just put it wide. Not a lot happening this half. I've gone on to cautious just to make sure we look after the ball a little bit better, to be honest. But Burnley's still looking okay here. We're Burnley. We're still doing okay, but Sheffield United look like they're growing into the game. Ladislav just absolutely crunches Chowdhury, who in turn absolutely crunches Wout Weghorst as he tries to lead the counter-attack. And Sheffield United are getting on the front foot here. I feel like I might have to change something. And Dye turns. Pussetto should have scored. So I'm fine with the Oscar playmaker thing. I think we're going to move Teller back. We're going to put Weghorst on support. We're going to keep the wing backs as they are. But what we're going to do is we're going to go a bit less direct. We're going to get a little bit narrower. We're going to focus on playing out of defence still. And instead of counter-pressing to win the ball back, we're going to keep our shape. It's about discipline now. It's about being really... just not making any stupid mistakes. Look, we've done okay. We've got ourselves in a good position. Don't do anything stupid. Going to give him a bit of praise because I don't get to do that very often. Wish I hadn't. Ladislav's just stood there and watched himself get tackled, which is not great, to be honest. Baldock infield to Ndai. Sheffield United. Can they find a way back into it? That 2-goal cushion is all right now. If they get a goal now, it is worrying. Pussetto's in. Tell you what, Pussetto must be the worst striker in the league. He has let us off. I need to just rinse into Pussetto a bit. He's not brilliant, is he? 29 games in 191 appearances. That's pretty bad for a striker, isn't it? That is really bad. Well, man of the match for us, Ignacio Pussetto, has gifted us 3 points by not being able to finish anything. That second half, we were on the ropes a bit, but we've got the job done through set pieces mostly. It's a 3-1 win. The wing backs worked really well, and the strike partnership worked well. And well done, lads. Good win. On to the next game. Cullen wants a new contract. Why? Just the most mid top end of championship player. I might drop you for that, honestly. I genuinely might drop him for that. That is just... He's not done anything to deserve it. What does he actually want? How long have you got on your contract? He's got until 2026. Oh, piss off. No. How am I gonna tell him to get lost without... You've got plenty of time remaining to get lost. No. Have to let others know of your disappointment. What a prick. We win one game and immediately have a mutiny. It's just... Ugh. I don't get why he wants a new contract. He's got one until 20... He only signed it last year. Squad unhappy. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Charlie Taylor's on my side, though, so... That's good. I mean, he's not getting one. What fight do we pick? I'm not going to give him a new contract. He's not worth it. He's not worth it. That's quite antagonistic. Very antagonistic. Starts this for the good of the team. It is, because I don't want the team to be lumbered with a mid player on ridiculous wages. He's on cheap wages. He didn't like it. Well, he shouldn't have signed the contract that he was offered last year. I could just lie and said I'd talk at the end of the season. He chose to turn it down. That makes me seem a lot more reasonable than than I actually have been. It's good for the team. So do I call them all unprofessional? Do I just back down and be really weak? Or do I escalate it? I mean, I don't want to escalate it. That's my entire attack there. My entire front four and centre-back partnership are angry with me. So I probably shouldn't escalate it. I'm just going to say... not going to be able to win you around, let's leave it there for now. And they'll just have to be a bit disappointed. And they're just going to have to be... It's so silly. It's so silly, this kind of stuff in Football Manager. He's not... He doesn't warrant a new contract. I'm sorry, he just doesn't. He's just mad because Dendonka's come in and earns more... Look, Ladislav, next to him, does earn more money than him, admittedly. But he's actually good. Yeah, they are on more money. They are on more money. I know they're on more money. But let's face it, mate. You're a squad player. You are a decent squad player who, if you left this club, would probably just sort of go to a championship team. Like, why should I pay you established Premier League wages when you're not an established Premier League player? And again, 2026. Because speaking to microphone. 2026. It's just... I should have asked him to sack his agent. Well, after that little tiff, we now have an incredibly unhappy squad and a relegation 6-pointer coming up. So that's good. Immediately, Jack Cork culling out the squad altogether. Dendonka can start. I'm just... You know what? Move to the under-18s. Get lost. Anyway, so he's dead to me. The rest of the team, I think I'm going to keep the same as our game against Sheffield United, to be honest, where things work quite well. Fulham's tactics are a more traditional 4-3-3. So they're quite a sort of workman-like team, relatively solid in midfield. I think we try and press them. I think we try and go direct. I think we try and hit them early. If it doesn't work, we pull these players back and we look to a more defensive shape. And just... You have no future at the club. I'm sorry. I do not care. There's no interest. Of course there isn't. It's because he's on a contract until 2026. I've said in this series before, it's a really good thing I don't manage actual real life human beings. Can you imagine? Relatively early highlight here. Weghorst wins the header in midfield. And we can look to build. Nathan Teller is just sort of running unopposed here. He's into the area and Tim Ream scores an... Oh, Fulham! Oh, Fulham. I'm understanding why they're having the season they're having. I get it now. It's quite a nice finish. And then he puts his hands out. Oh, and the head in the hands. Oh, I love it. See if we can build an attack from here then. Zaroury keeping the width into midfield. We're playing it forward quite directly here today. We want to get forward and cause them problems. There's the overlap. Livramento into the area. Surges past his man. Pulls it back to Weghorst. It's 2-0. It's been easy so far. It has been easy so far. Fulham just do not look at the races at all at the back. And we have ripped them open down that right-hand side again. This time it's Weghorst on the end of it instead of Tim Ream. And it's 2-0. I think they actually deserve some praise. I'll praise them when they're not starting mutinies. Gomez free kick. Ladislav wins the flick on. They've just about scrambled it clear, but we can recycle. Dendoncker, Teller's free, hits the post, and it should have been 3-0. They're just not defending down our entire right-hand flank. You know what? Focus play down the right, why not? Right at the end of the half here, Fulham might actually have a highlight. I don't want to do what we did against Sheffield and just let them back into the game just before half-time after they've created nothing the entire game. But I have a feeling that's what we're about to do. They play it into midfield. Lukic out to Kenny Tete. Can they build it from deep? Not Lucas Moura. It's fine. Sergio Gomez mops up the loose touch. And we can build from deep, which we do sometimes do. We play out from the back sometimes. It's not all just ping it up to Wout Weghorst and hope here. We do actually play football occasionally. Then Donker in midfield, out to Nathan Teller. There's the overlap. Right-hand side, Tino Livramento gets the cross in. Weghorst, good chance. Very good chance. But it's over the bar. We get to half-time. Fulham haven't been in the game. We're 2-0 up. I think we can do even better. They hate me. They all hate me. Gonna bring Oscar on for Zerari, who's having an awful game. They're not offering anything, to be honest. Gyökeres doesn't care anymore, so I'm going to give Lyle Foster a go. And leave it at that, I think. Go out, make an impact. 2 players that haven't betrayed me. Highlight here, starting with a Livramento throw-in on that right-hand side. Laid in field. Foster has a shot from range over the bar. Lyle Foster's not great, is he? Fresh legs again. Charlie Taylor on. The one player who agreed with me over Liam Cullen. Probably should have started him, to be honest. He's coming on. Ladislav is a bit tired in midfield, so Jack Cork is going to get some minutes in. And Nathan Teller, who is having a really good game, is getting a bit tired. I'm gonna wait a bit because we've only got the one sub left and there could be injuries, but we'll see what happens with that. If nobody gets hurt, yeah, we're okay. I'm gonna bring on Scotty Twine for Nathan Teller, and hopefully we see it through and there's no drama of any kind whatsoever. Fulham highlight. It's probably the highlight of Fulham seasons, this, watching Daniel Amati take a throw-in. Gets the cross across. Oh my God. That would have been the highlight of their season, but it's over the bar and it's fine. Time ticking away. Fulham are throwing the kitchen sink at us at the end, but they've created very little from it. It's a solid 2-0 win. We didn't really let them get in the game, and it's a good 3 points. Well done. Defended well. They are a sad team, aren't they? Sheffield United lost 3-0 as well to Everton. Oh, who have Luton got? It's that gap. That gap is growing. Really growing. Where is the Luton game? Trouble is in these kind of saves is that keeping the squad together and squad harmony is pretty vital because we're not great. So I might have messed up. Maybe I should have just given him the contract. No, he was being stupid and unreasonable. Please ignore all the SPTs. Just ignore them. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's fine. And so, with another crushing defeat for Luton, it is the end of another round in the Premier League. We're going to call it there for today, I think. This is how the table's looking, and after those 2 relegation 6-pointers, we're 9 points clear of the drop zone. We're only on 10 points. But 10 points from 7 games is good. 3 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, negative 1 goal difference. We're doing okay. We are doing absolutely fine. Just F's in the chat, really, for the 3 teams in the relegation zone. They have now played 21 games between them. They have 1 point. But we're only 5 points off Europe. You never know. F1 Squad Mutiny today. It could have been worse. I'll see you next time.